Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you know what we are doing today?
Well, we're kind of going back to the beginning.
We are the beginning.
One might even call it the Genesis.
The Genesis, the day, the one day, day one.
Well, there was like 7 of them.
But in the beginning, there was just the word.
And it was dark.
And he found it good until he did some other shit, and that was good too.
Right, he made light twice.
He did. And
good stuff.
And there were 2 different creation stories.
Yeah.
And so he made things out of order depending on which one you go with.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we never did early on, when we first did Genesis, we never did a Contradictions episode.
That is correct, my good sir.
Which we've been doing for our other books.
We have.
So here we are, later on in our podcast. We're coming back to it.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing what?
We are doing, I think we call them not contradictions, but you're always wrong.
We're going to start that right in Genesis, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We are.
So here's our Contradictions episode for Genesis.
Yep. Okay, so we are doing our Genesis. You're always wrong.
But I mean, I can be right.
Nope, you're never right.
Please?
Nope.
Just this once?
Not even a bit.
Ah.
But I am going to say a couple things before we get started.
Just a couple?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, for one thing, the site that I use for these contradictions, there were 83 potential.
Holy fuck.
That's why it took me so long.
And this is just within Genesis?
Yeah, as compared to the rest of the Bible,
God.
Not just contradicting itself, but contradicted against other books.
Okay.
Contradictions throughout.
Got it.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we haven't read all the other books.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. It started out with 83, and I narrowed them down to, I think, 24. I'm not going to scroll all the way down there.
Okay.
Anyway, like about 25 questions.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
More than that, though, the questions that I skipped were not only the ones that come from books that we haven't read yet. I also skipped ones that were like, how old was so-and-so when they entered this land? Were they 33 or 34? I don't fucking care.
Right, yeah.
And I could just as easily make that contradiction.
Sure.
So I don't know. I skipped kind of some of that. And then there were a couple others that we had kind of mentioned at the time that were like, I don't really feel like that's necessarily a contradiction so much as record keeping bullshit. And who was so-and-so's dad? Was it this guy or that guy from these countries? And I couldn't remember either of them, so I knew that you wouldn't. So obviously, who cares?
Right.
So I'm letting it be known that there are other questions. I narrowed it down to these 24, 25.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
With that being said, number one. When was heaven created? Do you want multiple choices?
Yeah.
Okay. It was either in the beginning, or it was on the second day of creation. Which one?
I'm going to go with in the beginning.
Right. I mean, obviously, that's where you should stow.
Sure.
Stow? Go. Stow it.
Yeah.
Because Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1, the very first sentence of the fucking Bible.
Right.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
Right. Yeah.
So you would think that that's the correct answer, but guess what?
That's not it.
You're always wrong.
Or it is it, but it's also this.
It's also this. Because on the second day of creation, God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven.
Yeah.
And the evening and the morning were the second day.
Okay.
And that is also in Genesis chapter 1, just a few verses later.
Got it.
So fuck off.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Number 2.
2.
When did God divide light from darkness? Do you want some multiple choice?
No, it was on day 1 and day 4.
Did you just look at my
No.
list? Oh, you remember?
I know that, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You can't. You have to pick one.
Okay, fine. It was day 1.
Okay. So, yeah, on day 1, still in Genesis chapter 1 here, God divided the light from the darkness, and he called the light day, and he called the darkness night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. Okay?
Yeah, got it.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you're always wrong, even though you tried to make it not so because you guessed both of the answers, but you're still wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Sure.
Okay. God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night, because that's how science doesn't work, to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good, but it wasn't really. And the evening and the morning were the 4th day.
Got it.
So yes, it was both at once.
Yeah.
So I guess on that one, you were right.
Okay.
But not really.
Oh,
no.
I'm clipping that shit.
Nope. Nope. That's why I mumbled it, so it makes a lousy clip. Number 3, when were the stars made? Okay, wait. It makes me think of the movie Ghostbusters, where she goes, "Is it a star?" at the very beginning when, Peter Venkman is testing the subjects, trying to test for ESP, and he shocks the guy, and
right. Yeah.
he tells the girl, "Clear your mind."
Yeah, and I got it.
Yeah. Is it a star? So when were they made?
4th day?
Well, you would think that, because it does say that on the 4th day of creation, after the earth was made, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth in Genesis verse 1. Shut up. Chapter 1, verse 1.
Yeah.
Okay. And he made the stars also, and God set them in the firmament of the heaven, and the evening and the morning were the 4th day.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But also, you're always wrong.
Okay.
Because it happened before the earth was made.
Oh.
Where wast thou when I laid the foundations of the earth, when the morning stars sang together? And that was just in chapter Job. Yeah.
But how does that mean that it was done before the earth was made?
Because he laid the foundations of the earth and then the morning stars.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's not real clear, I don't think.
Yeah, that's not real
whatever.
clear. I probably shouldn't have included that, but I just wanted to because I really liked the whole morning stars singing together.
Sure.
And I also liked that we just read Job.
Sure. Okay.
So
all right.
It just felt good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it.
But yeah, I won't say that you were wrong on that one because it's a dumb question, but I certainly won't say that you were right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 4, how many gods are there?
Well, there's countless gods.
Are there?
There are. And even Yahweh technically is multiple gods because Elohim and all that wonderful shit.
Yeah. There are several gods. In the book of Genesis, God uses a plural pronoun to refer to himself, herself, itself, themselves, whatever, implying that there is more than one God up there. So, like in Genesis, he says, "And God said, let us make man in our image." And then further on in Genesis, "And the Lord said, behold, that man has become as one of us to know good and evil." And then later on he says, "Let us go down there and confound their language." So, yeah. The Old Testament God is a God of gods who is worshipped by other gods. Okay. So in Deuteronomy, we've got, "For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords."
Yeah.
And also he's better than the other gods.
Of course he is. Because,
yeah.
Yahweh, Elohim, whatever.
Yeah. In Exodus, we've got, "Who is like unto thee, O Lord, among all the gods?"
Yeah.
And also, "Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods." And also, still in Exodus, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me."
But this is, by the time we got to Exodus, though, this is when they were talking about other gods. Like, there's like these other gods that exist out there. And they were kind of like localized demigod type things.
Yeah. But still.
Sure.
How many gods,
Right. No,
there's
lots
a
of
bunch.
gods.
There's a bunch.
Yeah.
The Hebrew God judges the other God. And there's all kinds of stuff about that. And he's a jealous God. He's jealous of other gods.
Definitely is.
So, there's all kinds. Oh, and if you give God glory, he'll go easy on you and all your other gods. You know?
Yeah.
And these are all like in the early parts of the Bible, except for the one that I just said is in 1 Samuel. So even as far as 1 Samuel, he was like talking about other gods.
Wow.
And in First Chronicles, you have to fear God more than the other gods. And back to Exodus, don't sacrifice to any other gods or he'll get you.
I gotta admit, I kind of miss now that we moved beyond the multiple gods. I mean, like, maybe we'll still run into it at some point, but we don't seem to be talking about multiple gods anymore in the Bible where we're at currently.
We're headed towards that whole Christian monotheistic God.
I'm like, I kind of enjoyed when they were like talking about all these other gods and shit.
Yeah, it was more fun and childish-ish.
Yeah.
Ish.
Right?
Yeah. So I could keep going on, but ultimately you're always wrong.
Right.
Because absolutely not, sir.
Yeah.
There was only one God.
Only one?
Only one. Unto thee it was showed that thou mightest know that the Lord, he is God. There is none else beside him.
Oh.
That's in Deuteronomy. And there is no other God. And the Lord God is our one Lord. And see now that even I am he, and there is no God with me. And just God is God.
Okay. Yeah.
So you're always wrong.
Got it.
Don't ever forget it.
All right. I will try not to forget it.
Yeah. I mean, there were so many more examples. Like, I'm still scrolling. There's so many other gods.
Yeah. We don't want to read them all.
No. It's too boring.
Yeah.
But I was just letting you know.
Okay.
So, number 5. Is childbearing sinful?
Well, I mean, yes, because you are... you're unclean for like a month afterwards or something like that if you have a girl, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
So, yeah, kind of.
Okay. Yeah. After delivering a child, a woman must kill a lamb and a dove as a sin offering to purify herself. And she has to bring that lamb the first year and a young pigeon or dove for a sin offering unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, unto the priest, who shall offer it before the Lord and make an atonement for her.
Right.
Because some baby squeezed out her disgusting, nasty vagina hole. And we all know how that is. Gross! How dare she?
Right.
How dare she spit that baby out of her vagina hole?
Yeah.
My God. Gross. I hate when that happens. But also, you're always wrong.
Okay.
Because God commands us to have children, so it can't be sinful. He says be fruitful and multiply like a million times
really
in Genesis alone.
Like, dude, it kind of gets old.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we got it, man.
Yeah.
Like,
have a million babies.
We're going to have babies that make up all the sands in the ground and all the stars in the sky. And yeah, there's going to be lots of fucking babies, okay?
Yeah. Not only that, but live long and prosper. I mean, kind of similar, right?
Right, yeah.
But yeah, he's just so back and forth. Like, have a lot of babies, but you're gross for it.
Well, I think he's kind of of both minds, honestly. Like, I mean, as far as it's written,
as long as
we got to have a lot of babies, but obviously you're disgusting for having done that. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like anything that can make women look gross, let's do it. Let's do it.
The Bible doesn't particularly seem to like women.
I think that the Bible would be really excited about all the bent dick and dick pill commercials that we see on TV nowadays. And I think that God would be disgusted by the pads. Like, we're seeing more feminine hygiene products now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And I think God would be disgusted by that.
Probably. That's probably very sinful to even discuss that.
Yeah. I was actually listening to a podcast recently where this lady was talking about how when she was looking for information on menopause, because she was in her mid-40s and was starting to have all these different symptoms and kept going to her doctor to find out what was what, and finally found out, like, oh, duh, I'm going through menopause or perimenopause, which is the early stages of menopause.
Right.
And she went to her local library and there was exactly one hard copy of a book on a shelf about menopause.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so she was like, absolutely not, sir. And she wrote her own book. And apparently there are at least 35 symptoms of menopause. And we just don't talk about it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, I keep saying menopause,
it's not just
but
hot flashes?
No, it's way more than that. And like, until you haven't had your period for a year, you're still in perimenopause. You're not in menopause until you have not had a period for a year.
Got it.
So if you're like keeping count of when your last period was, and you get to like month 9 and then you have even a small period, you got to start that count all over. Yeah.
Got
it. That was a really interesting episode, but just thinking about that was like, yeah, why don't we talk about that? Like, it's as common. It's like reverse puberty, you know?
Right.
And half of the fucking population goes through it.
Well, I mean, I think that, this culture that we live in is okay with men getting old, but it's not okay with women getting old.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And we're okay with broken dicks, but not with dry vaginas.
Right. Yeah.
And I just have a problem with that.
I mean, yeah.
Like, why? Why are we not embarrassed to talk about dicks being broken?
Right.
Like, to me, that is a weird thing to talk about. Like, if we're going to talk about genitalia, that's an odd thing.
Regardless of what we're talking about here, they're all weird to talk about, I guess, in our society.
Right.
But one shouldn't be more weird than another.
That's what I'm saying. You can find broken dick commercials all over the fucking place.
Right.
Everybody knows what the blue pill is. But then we start talking about, like, dry vagina, and everybody's like, ooh. Or, the opposite, WAP, wet-ass pussy, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, ooh, like, that's disgusting. Like, oh, it's more disgusting. Okay, got it.
I wonder if we hold the record for the amount of times that it said dry vagina in a podcast episode.
I mean...
You think we have it?
I don't know.
No?
Maybe? I'm just really upset about it. Like,
okay.
I'm really...
No, I know.
It's one of my topics.
I was curious, though.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. I think that was you hinting, can we go now? Okay, so number 6. May Adam eat from any tree?
No.
No,
because he can't. Right. Obviously, he can't eat from the.
He can't eat
from the knowledge.
The tree of knowledge. Yeah.
Tree of knowledge. Sorry.
But guess what?
What?
You're always wrong. He can eat from any fucking tree.
Oh.
Yeah. Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree to you it shall be for meat. Go ahead.
Okay.
Eat everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go.
And it was only later that he told him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way. But there's this one tree.
Got it.
You can eat all the trees. Oh, but like a couple of chapters later. Oh, wait. I meant to say, but
not
don't
that
eat
one.
Yeah, don't eat that one.
Yeah, that one's off.
Yeah.
Limits.
Or if we're going with, I forget, is it Greek or Roman? I think Greek. Here, Pandora, hold this box. Don't open it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, okay, number 7. Were plants created before or after humans?
I thought they were created before.
Sure. Plants were created before humans. In the first creation account, plants were created on the 3rd day and humans on the 6th day. Okay? But guess what?
I'm right?
You're always wrong.
Shit.
Plants were created after humans. In the second creation account, God formed a man before any plants existed. It hadn't rained yet, and there was no man to till the ground.
That's really dumb. Why would you you should have the shit in place before you build the man, right? At least that's how I see it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, he did it all kind of wrong.
If I were building a Lego set, right? Mm-hmm. I'd build the scene first, and the house, and all the animals.
Yeah,
and all that
it's
stuff,
true.
I put the big guy in last.
You put the people in last.
Right.
It's true.
Right.
You even actually put the animals in before you put the person.
God doesn't play Lego very well.
He did a bad Lego job.
Yeah.
Because wouldn't you put the animals, like the person is the final thing?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, ta-da, complete.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he sucks.
Right.
Number 8.
Okay.
How long did it take to create the heavens and the earth?
7 days. Wait, no. 6 days. Rest on the 7th day.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, 6 days. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And I'm not going to read all of that because blah, 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 blah. The 7th day, God ended his work, which he made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work, which he had made.
Yeah.
Right? But you're always wrong.
Why?
Because it only took 1 day.
What?
Because there are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. That 1 day.
Well, but he made the earth and the heavens, but he didn't make all the stuff on them.
Well, but he made them.
Okay.
They were created.
All right.
I'm just saying. Number 9. Did God originally create humans male and female?
No, he made Adam first, and then he cut up. I mean, I remember he zap-zapped his rib.
Yeah, because we talked about God LASIK.
Yeah, God LASIK.
Yeah. And, you would think that is correct, but guess what?
What?
You're always wrong.
Bullshit. This is bullshit.
Because God created man in his own image, in the image of God created he him, male and female created he them.
Where does it say that at?
Genesis chapter 1 verse 27.
But he made man first.
But it says he did that, and that's before the chapter 2 where he talks about forming the man from the dust.
Got it.
Yeah.
And there was that whole story about Lilith actually and him.
That wasn't in the Bible.
No, I know. But I mean, in Jewish lore, there's the whole, Lilith and Adam deal.
She refused to submit. She wanted to be on top.
So maybe there is some confusion there.
I could see. Yeah. I could see that. I don't always want to submit. I'm just saying. I like to be in charge sometimes.
Sometimes?
We're talking about sex.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
You are slow.
I woke up from a nap earlier. Jesus.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. I'll let you have that.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Number 10.
Yeah.
Does God respect anyone?
No. He's a dick.
I mean, he really, really is.
He even said that he liked the Israelites he disliked the Israelites the least of any of the people.
He did.
I'm like, that is a dick thing to say.
It really is.
Like, oh, I don't like people at all, but you guys, you're all right.
Of all the people I hate, which is all of them, I hate you the least.
Right.
Yeah.
Christ, man.
In Deuteronomy, he says, "For the Lord your God regardeth not persons." And then in 2 Chronicles, it says, "For there is no iniquity with the Lord our God, nor respect of persons." So yeah, you're right. But guess what?
What?
You're also wrong because God had respect for some people.
Oh, bullshit.
He had respect for Abel because he killed and sacrificed animals, but he did not have respect for Cain.
For like 5 days.
He did not have respect for Cain, who only offered God some veggies.
Yeah.
And the Lord had respect unto Abel, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. That was Genesis chapter 4.
Uh-huh. Okay.
He also had respect for the Israelites. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them. That's in Exodus.
I don't believe it because he was a dick. He was a dick.
I totally agree.
Remember the time when they were asking him for food and he like inundated them with fucking ducks or whatever?
He made like dead quails fall all over him.
Like bullshit.
Here's some fucking meat, you whiners. Yeah. But also in Leviticus, he says, "For I will have respect unto you and make you fruitful and multiply you and establish my covenant with you."
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he liked them.
Guess.
And then in 2 Kings, "And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them." Yep.
Okay.
So I don't know what to tell you.
He's a dick.
He is a dick.
He is a dick.
I'm going to give you that. Number 11. What became of Cain?
What became he went off to the land of Nod and got married and had children and shit.
Yeah.
With those magical people that just popped up out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He settled down, married, had a son, and built a city. And that was in Genesis chapter 4. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch. And he builded a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch.
Yeah, because all of a sudden the world was like populated and stuff.
And we were like, whoa!
That was quick.
When did that happen? I didn't get all that.
Right?
Yeah. Came out of nowhere. That escalated quickly.
It did.
But guess what?
What?
You're always wrong. Because he was a nomad vagabond. Call me what you will. What? I think I did that slightly wrong, but still, you get what I'm saying.
I gotcha.
I tried my hand at Metallica and failed.
Right.
Yeah. He was a fugitive and a vagabond, but I cannot hear the word vagabond without thinking of that line from Metallica.
Right.
Okay. And so in Genesis chapter 4, also it says, "And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength.
Right.
A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth."
Right. That bothered me at the time because I'm like, how do they then go prosper over here and make cities and shit? And
he
get
was
married
not
and have kids?
a fugitive if he fucking founded a city.
Right?
Yeah. He was not a vagabond if he had a wife and kids and they built things.
Right.
He was fine.
Yeah.
He was fucking fine.
Yep.
He was over there. He had to work a little bit, but he was fine.
Right.
Yeah, so that bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 12. Is everyone descended from Adam and Eve?
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe so, but yes, sure.
According to the Bible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's descended from Adam and Eve, and Adam called his wife's name Eve because she was the mother of all living. Right?
Yeah.
But guess what?
What?
You're always wrong.
Okay.
Because no, some of the things that live are not descended from her.
Huh.
And I say things because the Nephilim were the giant offspring of the sons of God, like maybe angels or whatever.
Right.
And the daughter of men. So they weren't descended entirely from Adam and Eve. Eve and her brood maybe, or Adam maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really get it. Like,
right. I wish somebody would. I mean, I wish it was clarified more.
Yeah.
Because I this is a point of contention, right? Like, did we all come from Adam and Eve or not?
Well, some of the Nephilim made giant babies.
Right. But then we also killed off all the giants at some point.
But did we though?
I don't know.
Because remember?
Right. No, I know.
One of them caught a ride
kept coming back too.
Yeah. So there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bore children to them, and same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. And at least some of the Nephilim survived the flood, according to the book of Numbers.
Okay.
So maybe there are still some giant offsprings of God's sons around today. Do you think?
No.
No?
No.
No?
I mean, there's Shaq. So.
You think he's a giant? I mean, he's tall, I'll give you that, but do you think he's like descended from giants?
No, I don't.
He's descended from angels?
I don't know.
No?
No.
And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers. And so we were in their sight.
Oh.
Grasshoppers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the book of Numbers.
Okay.
Did
you notice how the size of the giants shrank over time too?
I did notice that.
Like that at first in the Bible they were like giants.
Right. It was
but then
just
when
they
they
were
fought
giants.
them, they were like kind of like,
just real tall.
Really tall.
Yeah. But I think that we discovered that tallness, that it was merely real tall and not giant.
Right.
In one of our Q&As. I don't think that was Bible-y.
Right.
I don't know if that argument was
I don't
one
know
that
either.
would hold water. Number 13. Was God satisfied with his creation?
Yes.
Yes. He was pleased with everything he made.
Yeah.
He saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good.
Though he did kill everybody at some point.
And wished he'd never created it. So that was a nice correction that you just tried to do, but you're still always wrong.
Yeah.
It repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast and the creeping thing and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them.
Yeah, there's that drunk god dad coming out.
Right. I will smite thee.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, number 14.
Yeah.
When did Noah enter the ark? You want multiple choice?
Yeah, please.
Okay, it was either 7 days before the flood began or the day that the flood began.
The day that the flood began.
Sure. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month, the same day, were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened, and the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. In the self same day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his son with them, into the ark. But guess what?
What?
You're always wrong.
Oh, shit.
Because it was 7 days before the flood began, and Noah went in, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him into the ark, and it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were upon the earth.
Okay.
So, we don't know. Was it before the flood or as the flood came?
I don't know.
Who could fucking know, right?
Yeah.
Number 15. How many of each clean animal did Noah take into the ark?
2.
Duh.
Right.
Everybody knows that, right? Of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shall thou bring into the ark. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Multiple different times in multiple different ways it says that, right?
Right.
But guess what? You're always wrong.
Okay.
Because there were 7. Of every clean beast thou shalt take thee by sevens, the male and his female. Remember, we commented on that at the time.
Yeah.
We were like, wait, what? No, that's not one of each. That's several of each.
Right.
Yeah, which, scientifically makes a lot more sense.
Right,
but,
yeah.
Like, that doesn't match the story.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I don't know what to say about that.
I think we talked about at the time, like, maybe they needed some food to feed some of the other animals or something.
But we also agreed that doesn't matter. It's still bad phrasing.
Right. Yeah.
And they should have edited it correctly.
Right.
Number 16. Did everyone except for Noah and his family die in the flood?
Yes.
Yes. Everything died except for those on the ark.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah.
And goes on great detail to tell us that only him and his pals on the ark survived.
Yeah.
Okay, but guess what?
What?
No!
What the fuck?
Some survived.
No, it's bullshit.
There were giants in the earth in those days. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, they survived.
Yeah, because there was giants afterwards. So.
Yeah.
According to the Bible.
Mm-hmm. But no unicorns.
No unicorns.
Number 17. How long did the flood last?
Wasn't it like 40 days and 40? No, that's not. I don't know. I can't remember now. 40 days and 40 nights?
That's the story that we all remember. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The flood was 40 days upon the earth.
But it also seemed like it was more like 6 months by the time we got done with everything.
Yeah, it was 150 days.
Right.
Yeah. The waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days, and the waters returned from off the earth continually, and after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated.
Right.
So it was like, which one is it, you guys?
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
I mean, maybe it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and then the water stuck around for the rest of the time. It took that long to come down.
It makes me think of that song, and I don't know who sings it. 40 days and 40 nights of thunder, something, something, and I love you and you love me, and we have sex and blah, blah, blah. Something about how you're the eighth world wonder. Like it was a one-hit wonder. Do you remember that?
Got a one-hit wonder? Yeah.
Yeah. About the eighth world wonder. 40 days and 40 nights.
If I heard the song, maybe I would know what it is, but I'd have to hear it.
Yeah. Not me.
No.
Not your wife singing it.
No.
Absolutely not.
Not out of context, no.
Nope. Okay, number 18. How long was the ark afloat?
It was like 80 cubits, wasn't it?
No, not how long was it.
Oh.
Like, how long was it afloat? How many days, months, weeks, years did it
Isn't
stay
this the
afloat?
same question we just asked? Like 100,
No.
150 days, right?
No, that was how long was the flood there. That's not the same as how long did it stay afloat.
I don't know.
Do you want a multiple choice?
Yeah, give me multiple choice.
Okay, it was either 7 months or so or at least 10 months.
I'll go with 7 months or so.
Okay, that's the first one.
Okay.
The ark rested in the 7th month on the 17th day of the month upon the mountains of Ararat.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
But you're always wrong.
Of course I am.
Okay?
Yeah.
It was at least 10 months.
At least.
The waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. So how could they have fucking landed on some tops?
Right.
That weren't seen yet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yep. Bad writing.
Yeah.
Shitty story.
I mean, the whole Bible is kind of that way.
But I just remember being so upset with Genesis. Like,
right. No, it was...
Like, literally from one verse to the next, it was like, what are you trying to say?
Right.
Get your shit together. Number 19. What kind of animals may we eat?
The, like, not the ones that have, like, split hooves.
That is one answer.
And I don't know, there's some other rules too.
Don't eat animals that chew the cud or divide the hoof.
Right, that.
Okay?
Yeah.
So don't do it. But also, don't eat any animals.
What?
God originally told humans to eat only plants.
Really?
Yeah, that was in Genesis chapter 1. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. So that's what they were supposed to eat at first. They were not supposed to eat animals.
But then why would, like, one of the first things that he gave humans was livestock? if you're giving humans livestock,
Totally
then
agree.
I don't understand.
Totally agree. But then he says, the thing about the chewing the cub and divided.
Cub, huh?
Cud.
Oh, okay.
Cud.
All right.
Yeah. And then also, he says, there are beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. So, he just keeps changing like his answer.
Yeah.
Also, eat anything that moves. After the flood, God changed his mind about what people should eat, and their vegan days were over, and they were allowed to eat anything. Plants were no longer on the menu.
Got it.
Okay?
Got it, yeah.
Eat every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. That's
Man,
Genesis chapter 9.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates, whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. The unclean and the clean may eat thereof, as of the roebuck and as of the hart.
They lust after meat?
Sure they do. Didn't you hear those
Jesus.
bitches crying because they had no food, and that's why God made it rain quails on them?
Right.
He's like, here's your fucking meat, you
It's true.
lusty assholes.
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
they were allowed to eat clean and unclean after Deuteronomy.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Right.
Number 20. Are we punished for the sins of others?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, like in more than one way. Like,
yeah.
that's original sin, obviously. You got the Eve eating the fruit of the knowledge tree or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got like where, he likes to give punishment for generations down the line sometimes.
Yeah. God punishes children for things that their fathers, grandfathers, great-grandfathers, and great-great-grandfathers did. Like in Deuteronomy, it says, I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation.
Yeah.
That's in Exodus and
Sometimes it
Deuteronomy,
was up to 10 to 10 generations.
Yeah. Let's see. Scrolling down here, he keeps saying the third and fourth generation, blah, blah, blah. But then if we also get to bastards, quote unquote, those born out of wedlock,
right,
don't choose to be bastards, and yet God punishes them by excluding them from his congregation. And not just them, but all of their descendants for 10 generations.
That's such crap.
A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
What kind of God punishes a human being for simply existing?
A shit God who is based on the values of shit humans.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And if you fail to follow all of God's commandments, God will curse your children. If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, cursed shall be the fruit of thy body.
Okay.
Fuck you, says God.
Right.
Then there was when Ham saw his father Noah drunk and naked.
Yeah.
And Noah cursed Ham's son Canaan and all of Canaan's descendants with slavery. And this curse punished a son and perhaps an entire race of people for something his father supposedly did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then God, quote unquote, closed up all the wombs of the women in King Abimelech's court to punish him for believing Abraham's cowardly lie about his half-sister and wife, Sarah.
Right.
You remember he was like, this is my sister. Go ahead and fuck her. Yeah.
Right.
So God punished the women for whatever it was that Abraham
was bullshit.
and
I was so angry right then.
Yep.
Like, that was such crap.
Yep. And then God punished all of Eli's descendants for the behavior of Eli's sons. I don't know if you remember that.
Kind of.
Yeah. Well, then God was angry at David for having Uriah killed. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
As a punishment, God had David's wives raped by his neighbor while everyone watched.
I remember that. That was horrible.
And the neighbor that God chose to do his dirty work for him was none other than his own son, Absalom.
Right.
Yeah, that was so grotesque.
Yep.
And to punish David for having Uriah killed and causing others to blaspheme, God killed Bathsheba's baby boy. Remember that?
Yeah.
They had another one, though, so that's fine.
Right.
That's fine. Babies can be replaced.
Fix that.
Yeah. God sent a 3-year famine on David's kingdom. When David asks why, God answers, "It is for Saul and his bloody house because he slew the Gibeonites." So God sent a famine to punish a kingdom for something that a former king had done.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
That was in 2 Samuel.
Yep.
Then to appease God and end the famine that was caused by his predecessor, David agrees to have 2 of Saul's sons and 5 of his grandsons killed and hung up unto the Lord. God stopped the famine after Saul's sons and grandsons were killed and hung for him.
Right.
Yep.
I remember
that.
I do.
To punish David for a census that he and or Satan inspired, God killed 70,000 men and 200,000 or so women and children in a pestilence.
Why? Because they counted people.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, it's so stupid.
Do you remember that? We were so mad.
Right.
God was angry with Solomon, but decided to punish Solomon's son rather than Solomon himself.
Right.
Because he liked Solomon's father, David, so much.
Yeah.
And since Ahab humbles himself before the Lord, God decides not to bring evil on him because he'll bring it on Ahab's son instead.
Yeah,
that was in 1 Kings.
That shit makes no sense.
Right? Yeah. Elijah made his servant Gehazi and all his descendants lepers forever because he was just mad at them.
Right.
Yeah. But then the answer is actually no.
Oh.
Honey, no.
Okay.
God doesn't punish people for the actions of others.
Wait, we just got done reading like
a whole list.
10 minutes worth of
things. We're always wrong. I'll take this one with you.
Okay.
The father shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own fucking sin. That's in Deuteronomy. Okay. And the same thing similarly stated is in 2 Kings and 2 Chronicles.
That's funny.
Right? It's almost like
it's heavily contradicted.
It's almost like they don't read their own book.
Right. They don't.
Right.
So.
All right, moving on, because that's stupid and I hate it.
Yeah.
Number 21. How many languages were there before the Tower of Tower Babel was built?
80?
No. Do you remember what the Tower of Babel was?
Yeah, it was the tower that was going to reach to the sky, and God got mad because
he was like, how darest thou? Yeah. And so he knocked that shit down, and that's what made all the languages, right? So before that, how many languages were there?
I was guessing 80. Give me a multiple choice.
There was either only one, because the knocking down of the tower is what created the languages.
Oh, that's right.
Or there were many.
That's right. There was one.
You're supposed to guess one.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. You were doing it wrong.
I was doing it wrong.
Because you're always wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was only one language. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And that's Genesis chapter 11.
Yeah.
And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they all have one language, etc., etc., etc. And they're going to come down. Them gods, that God.
Right.
They going to come down and knock that shit down because they are pissed.
You would think that God would be mad about the International Space Station.
Right?
You know?
Or us landing on the moon.
Right.
Yeah. Because those are way taller than the Tower of Babel.
Right.
I mean, I have to wonder, how tall was that tower really?
Yeah.
Not very?
No, I'd probably not.
Yeah. So anyway, but you're always wrong.
Okay.
Always.
Yeah.
Because there were many languages. And that's what you tried to say at first. But only because you're stupid.
Yeah, that was being dumb.
You were being dumb. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, everyone after his own tongue. And these are the sons of Ham and their families after their tongues. And these are the sons of Shem after their families after their tongues. So they each had different languages.
Got it.
But no, that's not the story that's told.
That's not the story.
No, the story is that there was one language until we built we had the hubris. We flew too close to the sun.
Right, right.
Yeah. Number 22. Is incest forbidden?
Not if you ask Lot's daughters.
We're going to start there. No, it's totally acceptable. Yeah. Because Abraham married his half-sister, Sarah.
Yeah.
I forgot that was his half-sister.
Right.
Honestly.
Yep.
They have the same father. But God didn't seem to mind that. He blessed their union and called her a mother of nations.
Yeah.
So, that's cool.
I mean, it is what it is.
Moses and Aaron were the products of an incestuous marriage.
Yeah.
Their father, Amram, was married to his sister, Jochebed.
Oh, I have to just interrupt you for just a moment here.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody on Twitter, just yesterday actually, was telling me how because, there was less disease and less people and things were more pure back then, that incest was okay back then. And that's when I stopped talking to them.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's the example that you provided for us when Lot was impregnating. Lot was not impregnated.
No, yeah.
Lot was raped by his 2 daughters.
Yeah.
But then we had to think about it, and we were like, really though? Was that just putting the blame on the women?
Right.
You know, or did he not maybe like get them drunk and rape them himself, which seems more likely.
Right.
You know?
But that's not how it reads.
That's not how it reads. It specifically says that they got their daddy drunk and they each did a hop on pop.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get that. But I feel like there's no way in hell that would happen.
Right.
I feel like that was somebody trying to make incest the disgusting thing it was.
It's somehow okay if
blame the girls.
It's more okay if the girls do it versus the guy.
No, it's that it was gross anyway, so let's put it on the girls.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened.
Uh-huh.
But also, absolutely not. Don't do it. Incest is forbidden.
Yeah.
The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or daughter of thy mother, thou shalt not fucking uncover.
Got it.
Okay.
It seems like that probably was in Leviticus.
Yeah, actually it was.
Yeah.
Also, thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister.
Right.
And don't be fucking each other's aunts and all that stuff.
Right,
and,
right.
Yeah, no nakedness. It's a lot of lying with people and seeing their naked bodies.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Right.
It's gross. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Number 23. Will God destroy those that intermarry? And what we're talking about here is mixed marriages, mixed race marriages.
Yes. Yes, he will.
He will, yes. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take into thy son, for they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
That's Deuteronomy.
Yeah.
But guess what?
What?
Some of God's favorite people had foreign wives.
Yeah.
Like Joseph married an Egyptian woman from whom were born 2 of the patriarchs of Israel, Manasseh and Ephraim.
Okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Moses married an Egyptian woman, remember? And then when Aaron and Miriam complained about it, God gave Miriam leprosy.
Right.
Remember all that?
Yep.
So that all happened.
Okay.
Okay, here's my last question. Yeah, I was right the first time, 24. 24 questions.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I didn't even copy paste the answer over here because there's a big chart that we're going to reference.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
What were the 12 tribes of Israel?
Oh, Lord.
Do you remember that we had a hard time counting this at the time? Because Joseph was counted as one of the 12 sometimes, but sometimes not because his sons, Ephraim and Levi, I think. Is that the ones?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I remember Dan.
Yes.
I got Dan.
Dan.
And then there's,
Jacob.
Jacob?
Was Jacob one?
Wasn't Jacob one?
Hold on, let me see. No.
Oh.
No.
Shit.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong. There's Manasseh.
Yeah, Manasseh and Ephraim, not Levi.
Yeah.
It was Ephraim and Manasseh were Joseph's kids.
Right.
And sometimes they were each counted individually instead of Joseph.
Right.
Because remember, Joseph, he was not granted a blessing so that the 2 boys could have the blessing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, there are a total of 14 tribes on 6 different lists.
Oh, okay.
So there's 6 different lists, and many appear on all the lists. Some don't. Some appear on only some of them. So if you combine all of the lists together, there's a total of 14 tribes.
Okay. Yeah.
Simon, Levi, Dan, Joseph, Ephraim, and Manasseh are on some of the lists, but not others.
Interesting.
Okay?
Yeah.
And there's only 8 tribes that are included on all the lists.
Okay.
And the 8 are Reuben, Reuben, Judah, Zebulon, Issachar, not Dan, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, and Benjamin.
Got it. Okay.
And I could not have named those.
I could not have either.
Right.
I might have got some of them.
Like, I remember that we were trying to count them, and then I was like, no, you're counting it wrong because Joseph doesn't count because his 2 sons do. And you were like,
right.
But that makes 13. And I was like, no, you're wrong. But it turns out you were still wrong.
But only partly.
You were less wrong than I was.
Right.
But still, you're always wrong.
Yeah.
And that wraps that up, bitch.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. So that was a long Contradictions episode.
But I went as fast as I could. And like I said, I narrowed down 83 questions to 24.
I can't even imagine what this episode would have looked like with 83 questions.
Fuck 83.
We'd have been here all goddamn night.
I was going to stop at 25 regardless. So you're just lucky I got all the way through them and I was like, oh, 24. Good.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, so that was our Genesis Contradictions episode.
Sure as fuck was.
Just before we move along here, this is the end of our standalone Genesis podcast.
Yes.
And there will be a new Sacrilegious Discourse Exodus podcast coming out shortly. I should have it up within the next week or two if you are listening to this in real time. And then you can go ahead and start on that one if you would like to move on to the next bit.
And just a reminder, the reason that we're doing each book as a standalone in addition to the main stream from which we are recording all of them is that not all platforms hold back catalog of episodes.
And we specifically want this stuff to be available.
Yeah.
So
that's
why we're doing this.
Each book will eventually get its own separate podcast stream.
For sure.
So, this finishes up Genesis. Yay!
Yay! All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, wife. I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.